Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the start of my mental health first aid and advocacy course, something that I've been looking into for quite a while, and having recently been diagnosed with autism and ADHD, I felt this was something that I could do to really help me look after myself on my journey whilst I am looking into what these two issues are within me. Now, it's going to take me some time. It's not going to happen overnight. But what I would say, I feel incredibly lucky in life that I've had the opportunities to do some of the things that I've done, to go to some of the places that I've been to. But one of the things I feel incredibly gifted with is my passion for learning. Now, it's not consistent, and I now know why, but I do like to learn, and I've never wanted to be put off learning. And I've been incredibly lucky to do so many different things. So please stick with me while I go through these next few weeks of finding bits out about mental health, first aid and advocacy. I think it's important, so please stick around. So my first week of the course started with me looking at what mental health is, what it means to me in the context, and the aspects of well-being, and how am I doing, how are you doing, and how that integrates, because sometimes well-being has a huge accumulative effect. So if you ignore well-being day after day after day, potentially there is an option for poor mental health, and it does build up, and I know this builds up in myself. Advocacy and that sense of purpose, you know, do you set out each day with a sense of purpose, and how without that purpose, how do you cope day to day? And do you see other people and their struggles? And sometimes when you look at other people's struggles, it resonates with yourself, and you think, you know, maybe I should be doing this or should be doing that. I've also looked at chronic effects of mental health, the long-term mental health, and this is something that I've had issues with. You know, I'm quite a few decades into having issues, and I know this, I'm fully aware of this. I have coping mechanisms for longer term mental health. I'm sure many people do. But the acute effects, or what they call acute mental health, the short term effects, they're the things I can't deal with. And I've just recently this weekend gone through a bout of acute short term mental health issues. And I've really struggled, really have struggled. But this is why I'm doing the course. One of the other things that I've learned about is the taboos of mental health. How people are willing to sometimes talk about it, but how so many people are willing to openly persecute it, if that makes a sense, you know, almost look down their noses at people that have it. And I think one of the things I've noticed is that there seems to be a taboo subject about ADHD at the moment, which I find that quite difficult to process, because I'm trying to learn about the impact of ADHD as one of my diagnoses on me. But it's within that I'm feeling a sense of guilt of learning that. But I shouldn't be guilty, because I can't help the fact that I've got that. And it doesn't stop me wanting to be somebody or to do things. So taboo, that is definitely something. This taboo subject, definitely something I've got to work on. Something that surprised me is the amount of people that suffer from mental health. And I think one of the things is, when you look at the statistics, is where do the figures come from? Because having done a little bit of research over the last few days, The figures vary. 1 in 3 people, 1 in 4 people suffer from a mental health episode, either continuously or at some point in their life. But it depends where you get the figures from, and there is quite a big discrepancy. But I feel that is probably right, because I think the majority of people that I know have had a mental health issue at some point. One of the things that I've really enjoyed learning about this week, and I'm still getting my head around it, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, is the mental health continuum. So it is a sort of crossroads, an axis, horizontal and vertical axis, healthy, reactive, injured and ill. And it kind of makes sense because it's in flux, so it moves about. And this is something, the mental health continuum is something that I really want to learn about, because it triggers something in me that interests and kind of excites me with things that I want to learn. There is a place for everyone apparently on the continuum, so there's no negatives that I can see from it. And because it is in a state of flux, you can work out where you are in the continuum at a given time. Another thing that I came across again this week, and I've heard about this many times, you know, I think anybody that's had any support in mental health, fight, flight, freeze or fawn. And you know, there's no shame in it. You know, are you going to stand your ground? Do you have the ability to fight within that situation at that time? Flight, you know, do you want to escape from danger? And I think, you know, sometimes if you're having a panic attack or anxiety, flight is the obvious one for me in any case. And freeze, you know, becoming so intently upset by a situation that I'd just freeze on the spot. So it's something that I have some familiarity with, particularly with panic and anxiety, but as I'm learning about myself, more so about other things. And fawn, trying to please and appease. And I think these 4 things are things that really, in learning on this course, I want to adapt and maybe provide myself with some self-help. If you've enjoyed this video, there will be more information coming from me. I'm still getting used to, I feel fairly anxious in front of the camera, so I'm still getting used to these things, but please like and subscribe, come back, because everything you do helps grow my confidence, and the more I'm confident, the more I'm going to kick back into the channel. So please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next week. Thank you very much for watching.